Today we're going to do a meditation on active listening. And there's 3 different ways we can use just the simple process of listening that we do all day long as a meditation practice. So first, by listening to the sounds that we hear around us, it's a great way to bring yourself into the present moment. And we're going to practice that in the meditation today. So whenever you need to recenter yourself throughout the day, just by tuning into the sounds that you're hearing, it's that easy. There's always sound around you. The second one is by listening to each other or listening to people when they're talking to you with your whole being, just actually being there and listening actively is what they call it. And this is really different than the way we typically engage with each other. Typically we are listening, but we're really just planning what to say next and formulating how we want to respond, which is not actually proper listening. And we actually miss a lot of details. But not only that, there's a lot of people out there now who don't feel heard or don't feel seen. There's a lot of loneliness, particularly now during this pandemic. So listening to people is sometimes all they need to feel better and to start to heal. So next time someone comes to you, or later today, if you're talking to your family and they're telling you something, particularly anything related to their emotions or how they're doing, they probably more often than not don't need any advice or suggestions, but just want to be heard. So just listening is a mindfulness practice. You can notice how it feels and how difficult it is. I find it really hard, but it's something you got to practice. And then finally, listening to our internal dialogue, the thoughts within our minds. That's a practice. So we're going to practice that. I called my business Listen Lightly because that's kind of what it is, listening without judgment, without taking it too seriously, but just listening to your environment, to what's going on. So coming into the meditative posture, sitting up tall, shoulders back. And you can allow your eyes to flutter closed or gazing softly at a point in front of you on the table or on the floor, if that's more comfortable today. And if you are at risk of falling asleep, you can keep your eyes open a crack. Letting some light in will keep you on the more alert side of awareness, noticing how your body feels today, just the way it is, noticing any sensations that are present for you. We'll start to relax our bodies, seeking or searching for any places that are tense or where you're holding on, and allowing those to release. While you notice that your body is breathing, you are welcome to extend your breaths a little bit longer than usual, slowing them down, or you can just leave your breath to be completely natural the way it is. However is more comfortable for you, letting your breath encourage your body to surrender and release even heavier into your seat. Checking the places we commonly hold tension, such as our jaws, our necks, shoulders, upper back and lower back, our stomachs, our hips, pretty much everywhere, but seeing where you personally hold tension. Now that we're settled a bit more, we'll bring our awareness to the sounds that you can hear in the room that you're in, the sounds that are close by to you. Just noticing how the sounds change in every single moment. Each one arises, or the sound waves pass through you, and then they fade away and they're replaced by another. It's like a stream or a river of sound, constantly shifting. But we can sit in stillness, simply noticing or listening to this river of sound flow right by or through us. And whenever your mind wanders, just bringing it back to the sounds you can hear. And we'll start to extend our listening a little bit further, noticing how there are layers of sound that sounds closer to you, but starting to listen to the ones a bit further away from you in the distance. And at your own pace, extending the reach of your listening out as far as you can. And thoughts will be arising. This is our internal dialogue we can also listen to. So whenever you're distracted by a thought, you can acknowledge where your mind went, just with curiosity, without expectation or judgment. Just learning about yourself. And then come back to the external sounds. So our awareness is constantly shifting from our external environment to our inner dialogue and back. And there's nothing else to do or nothing else to be but sitting here and breathing. And listening with your whole being. As you become quieter, notice if you can hear even more subtle sounds. Maybe even the sound of your breath. Checking in with your body occasionally to release any tension that creeps in naturally as we sit. Actively listening with your whole being. Again, there's nothing else to do. everything is just perfect in this moment the way it is. You just have to open up to the sounds. And continue to relax our bodies. And now we'll bring our awareness into our bodies for these last few minutes of the meditation. Just feeling your body breathe on its own. Focusing on how that feels. And there's no particular way it's supposed to feel. Just noticing how it really, truly is whatever's real for you right now. And practicing accepting wherever you're at. If you're not accepting, then you are resisting, which causes more suffering and problems for ourselves. And those are the two options. Practicing kindness for yourself. As you feel your body breathing, continuing to release tension and relax further. And noticing now if there's any part of your body that needs a little bit more attention that you want to return to later today, maybe need some stretching or TLC. Now that we're more relaxed, our body can communicate with us a little bit clearer. We have now practiced listening, so just noticing what part of you needs a bit more attention and maybe making a note to take care of that later today. Feeling a moment of gratitude for our bodies and our breath, the breath that we fortunately don't have to think about and that just keeps us alive every moment of our lives. We'll begin to deepen our breath as we re-energize the body, bringing any gentle movements in that feel good right now. And eventually bringing your hands in front of you and rubbing your palms together to create some warmth, and then placing your hands over your eyes. Blinking your eyes open and releasing your hands.